Hey, I'm Jordan. I just wanted to make a short video about um, the presentation of Christianity to potential converts. Um, I've heard quite a few what I call sales pitches for this religion. I live in what some people refer to as the Canadian Bible Belt, so it's quite common around here. And none of these sales pitches have appealed to me. I have never seen a way in which this religion could work for me. They've completely missed the mark when it comes to converting me. I'm going to try not to criticize too much, but I want to give an example of a sales pitch that I received several weeks ago. I was on my way to the bookstore. Actually, I was on my way to buy Richard Dawkins' The God Delusion. I don't buy specifically atheist books regularly, but I'd heard a lot about this one, and he did make some very good points. As a matter of fact, I've only recently begun referring to myself as an atheist rather than an agnostic because of how he articulated my position and some other relevant things. But back on the topic. The sales pitch I received was this. It's an oversized reproduction of an American $100 bill, and on the back side is a little bit of light reading, and this is their brochure. So this is why we should become Christians. It says, and I'm going to summarize the points here. First of all, it says God is a person. That's right, I'm not sure why they had to specify that God was a person first of all, but it says in here that he is. Next it says that we all will die someday. And yes, we all will die. I'll agree to that right now. And then it says we're going to have to face eternity. And I don't agree with that. I don't see how it would work. Yeah, that's going to be a tough one to convince me on if ever it happens. The next one. The Ten Commandments. We've all broken some of them. I tend to agree that most of us have. Probably all. Something as simple as using their God's name in vain. A person. Remember, they called him a person. For using the specific person's name in vain, we can go to hell forever. If you want to say your religion is moral, this is going to be a tough one to get past. I'm not going to go too far into that right now, but yeah, it's going to be a tough one to get past for you guys. The next point they make is about redemption. But the fact is, throughout this whole thing, they give me no reason to believe it. They do not justify the suppositions this thing makes. And, you know, I'm not going to pursue this very far unless you make it somewhat more compelling. Yeah. Anyways, I told this fellow Dave so much that I was really unconvinced of the validity of these things. And he says to me, he uses the old building example, you know, that building obviously was designed, and you can just tell by looking at it, hey, buildings don't spring out of the ground, they need a designer. Well, the same is true of the world. It needs a designer, right? And at the time, okay, I just sort of some sort of very basic comment on I have experience with people, so I have observed how buildings come together, so I know how that works, but I don't know how designing and building universes work, and I just can't suppose that it's done by a person who lives in the sky. And okay, he gave up on me, and I went on my merry way. And this is now several weeks ago, and I've been thinking, the point he made about design and creation wasn't a point about design and creation, it was a point about consciousness. He was saying that the ability to design something is unnatural, and I disagree. I see the human mind as a naturally occurring phenomenon, the same as the buildings we build. Okay, it's all part of a very complicated process, but it's all natural. It's no more unnatural than the termites or something as simple as crystal formations, which, you know, I say it's simple, but it's not that simple. Yeah, these things all occur naturally. It's all forces within the universe which produce these results. What creationism, in my mind, needs to address is this component of the mind that they have supposed, which exists outside of the universe or is somehow otherwise unnatural. Yeah, and that's the only point I wanted to make here, and I want to leave this off, end this up by asking anybody to point out that component of the mind, which, you know, if you understood what I mean, whatever that thing is, point it out to me, and I will genuinely pursue your theology if you can point that out. You know, seek and ye shall find. And if this religion is applicable to everybody, then if I pursue it with honesty, I should be able to reconcile it to my particular way of thinking. Or it should, just through my efforts, change my mind into something able to accept it. So, you know, make that effort, and if any fellow atheists want to comment, that's cool too. You know, they did make some pretty outrageous claims on this thing, so I'm interested to hear what you have to say.